What is up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here at GSD Mode Studios with another weekly Leveling Up episode. So today I'm here to talk to you about willpower, self-discipline, and why it doesn't matter. So if you are somebody that beats yourself up, that gets down on yourself because you lack discipline, you lack willpower, well, I'm here to share with you today why it doesn't matter and what to do to go out there and get massive results, even if you have shitty willpower. What is up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here at GSD Mode Studios, where every week I share new top real estate agent and entrepreneur interviews, along with tips that I'm personally doing inside my business that have allowed me to become one of the top real estate agents and team leaders on the planet. Check us out at gsdmode.com, where you can see more free, great content, tips, interviews, resources, trainings, and more that will help you massively grow your real estate business. Also, make sure to check out my personal mentorship coaching program at 90daymastery.com. This is for those of you wanting to create a truly successful real estate business that pays you the money you want, as well as gives you the time and freedom to live a life worth living. This is hands down the best, most effective, and most affordable real estate coaching program that exists out there. Thank you so much for all of your support. Now, let's dive on into today's content. All right, so again, we are here today to talk about willpower, self-discipline, and why it does not matter. So not too long ago, I was speaking on stage at one of my private mastery in-person mastermind events here in Phoenix, Arizona, and I said something on stage that a couple people in the audience were just like, whoa, 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 and held their hands up on and asked me about. And what I said was, I never rely on self-discipline. I never rely on willpower. I do not believe in it. And their question was, well, dude, like, you're the most disciplined person I've ever met. Like, you have insane willpower, you're so disciplined. And at least that was their perspective. And that was the mindset and thought system that they had about me, or their perception of me. And the reality is that couldn't be further from the truth. Because look, now it's not that maybe I don't have more willpower discipline than maybe, somebody else or vice versa. But regardless, no matter how much you flex that muscle, no matter how much willpower and self-discipline that you develop, no matter what, we're all human beings. At some point, we're gonna have a weak moment. Like if you didn't get a lot of sleep. So I know for me, like, my weaknesses, when I don't get a lot of sleep and I'm tired, like, dude, my willpower and self-discipline, same thing, right? Self-discipline, willpower, all same shit. But it's out the damn window, dude. That's when I'm wanting to just cave in and go pour my diet, not work out, not do the necessary shit that I need to do, right? Or if I'm staying up late at night, or there's certain scenarios where it's like, look, man, you can have massive willpower throughout the day, but then it's like 8 o'clock at night, boom, it's out of the window. It's like, hey, man, I'm not crushing the bowl of cereal first thing in the morning. My willpower is strong in the morning. But 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night, if I'm binge watching, some damn TV or whatever, willpower goes out the window. That's where I'd crush the bowl of cereal. So here is how I combat it and why I don't, I just explained why I don't rely on it. Because it is not reliable. We're all going to have weak moments. But here's how I combat that. And it's all about setting up your environment to allow you to win. So I'll give you an example. I wake up really early in the morning, 3 to 4 a.m. every single morning. Depends on the day, but there's a lot of days of the week I'm up at 3 a.m., some days that I'm up at 4 a.m. And I've done this for years. But the reality is, you guys, is I am not naturally a morning person. I fucking hate getting up that early in the morning. It sucks. Just like anybody else, when you're waking up that early in the morning, like, naturally, I'm probably like a 6 or 7 a.m. Or if I'm not setting an alarm, if I'm on vacation, I'm naturally waking up 6, 7 a.m., right? Not 3 or 4 a.m. It sucks when I go out, get out of bed. So if I have an alarm clock next to my bed, here's what happens. Alarm goes off, boom, I'm reaching over, right, in a fog, in a haze or whatever, hitting the snooze button to the point where I don't even realize I'm doing it. Where I've had so many times where where I finally wake up in the morning, hours later, look at my phone, I'm like, man, I think I have something wrong with my alarm. I didn't even hear it go off. It didn't go off. And my wife will say, no, she's a light sleeper, right? She'll be like, no, you went off 3 times. Eventually, you just shut it off, and it kept waking me up. And I don't recall doing any of that. Yeah, right? So here's what I do is I make sure that I can't do that. I get the biggest, loudest alarm clock that I can, and I'll put it in a place where I have to get my ass out of bed to turn it off. It'll wake me up, right? But I got to get out of bed to turn it off, and now I'm up, I'm awake, right? So anything, what I do is I identify, like, what are the triggers? What are the things that lead me to the result that I don't want? So when it comes to diet, there's two things that are like my Achilles heel: chips and salsa and cereal. Like, I can crush a whole box of cereal late at night, right? And then same thing with chips and salsa, like just crush a whole bag, a whole jar. I just make sure they're not around me. I just make sure if I don't have them in the house, I'm not going to eat them during those weak moments. So I set my environment up to win. Another example is with all the social media that exists out there, right? So Facebook being was the big one for me, that no matter how much I told myself, oh, dude, I'm not going to check in on Facebook. I'm not going to, I'm just going to do my work, right? I'd see the alert pop up on my Facebook, and I'm like, oh man, I couldn't not cave in. So what I eventually did is I took Facebook, or all social media, off of all of my mobile devices. So off my cell phone, whatever. Then onside my computers, or at least my work computers. Maybe if you want to play at home and still have your social media on certain things, that's fine. But then you have specific times where you can check in when you're not working, where it's not during your productive time. But all my work computers and devices, like when I'm having to get shit done in the office, I just installed Facebook Newsfeed Eradicator, where boom, all that's gone. So I can jump into Facebook Ads Manager, jump into my paid membership groups that I charge for to coach and support other people, where I need to be there for work. That's my job, right? But I'm not in there for playtime. So again, it's all about setting your environment up to win. If you don't put yourself in this scenario or in this situation, it's not going to happen. So this is how I don't have to ever rely on willpower or rely on self-discipline. Is all I have to do is have enough discipline to set my environment up to allow me to win. Then the environment does the rest. I don't have to worry about it if it's a non-issue, right? So this is what I recommend, and this is how you combat self-discipline and willpower. And the only way that I have found to be effective, and not just from me, but some of the most elite, successful people in our industry and that I met on the planet, when I'm interviewing and talking to them and picking their brain on how they get all of this stuff done. We all get the same 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right? I'm watching this documentary not too long ago on Bill Gates called Inside Bill's Brain. Epic documentary. It's on Netflix right now. Highly recommend to go check it out. Docuseries. It's badass. Dude, Bill Gates has the same 24 hours in a day that you and I do. How the fuck does he get so much done? How is he the second richest guy on the planet? How is he not just created so many amazing companies and businesses and, obviously Microsoft, but he's also having a larger impact now on the globe than just himself single-handedly, than governments are, between the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, right? Solving sanitation problems. They're doing epic shit. How do they get all of this stuff done? Right? Well, again, it's not relying on discipline. It's setting your environment up to win, where you can eliminate the distractions. You can put yourself in a situation where you can't lose. So all you have to do is be disciplined enough to create your environment where, again, you can't lose. But you got to be disciplined to do that. And we all have more disciplined times. So like for me, when I first wake up in the morning, I'm very disciplined, right? And it's like through like the first half of the day, I'm disciplined. Then as the day gets on, I get more tired. That's when it diminishes. So if I got to set my environment to win, I'm going to set up during the peak of my discipline time, and so I can make those right decisions when it's at its peak. But all I got to do is make that decision one time, get this shit out of my world. It's like when I quit drinking. I had a problem with alcohol for a lot of years, got to the point where like, shit, I couldn't get till noon without having a beer. So what did I do to break that habit? I knew I had to give up the problem or get control of the problem. So I went totally clean for about a full year. And my first step was, okay, what are my environments? So I made sure I had no alcohol in my house. But I looked at other triggers. All right, when I got together with friends or other people at weekend barbecues or get-togethers, alcohol is involved, that would make me want alcohol, right? Another big thing for me was eating out. I didn't realize before I started going down the journey of quitting drinking, but when I'd eat out, dude, I had a difficult time going to eat out anywhere, not drinking. Like no longer was that fun for me. It was an issue, right? So for about 6 months during this process, I didn't allow myself to eat out. Didn't allow myself to go to any event where alcohol would be involved, and I absolutely didn't have it inside my house, right? And then after about 6 months, it took me about 6 months where when I created my environment to allow me to win, and then 6 months of being in that environment, it then allowed me, it became a habit, right? No longer do I even have to think about it. I could show up to events or places that alcohol was involved and it didn't faze me. It didn't affect me. I didn't need it in my world anymore. It just became part of my routine, right? So I set my environment up to allow me to win at the highest possible level, and that's all I had to do. Now, I'm not gonna say there's not struggles, there's not temptations, but that's gonna allow you to win at the highest level, and this is what the most elite human beings on this planet do. So I highly recommend that you guys do it as well. So take action on this, go set your environment up to win, and start reflecting and identifying, what is the one thing right now that if I were to give this one thing up, break this negative habit, right? Because so many people think that success is by addition. Oh, I got to add all this shit. Nope, it's almost always by elimination. What or whom must you eliminate in your world that will allow you to do more of the shit you need to be doing to take your business and life to the next level? So just identify one thing at a time. Just work on one thing at a time. Okay, hey, I got this one bad habit I got to break, or this one thing. Set your environment up to win, break that habit, work on it 60, 90 days, 6 months, however long it takes. Then once it becomes routine, where you don't have to think about it, it's out of your world, then identify the next thing, then the next thing. And every single year, if you're out there breaking or creating 6, maybe a dozen new habits each year, dude, that compounds very quickly over time and allows you to go out there and do some big shit. But you got to take action, man. You got to be disciplined enough to get your environment up to win, create environment to win, and you got to take action on it. So I hope you find this helpful. Make sure to check us out at gsdmode.com for more leveling episodes just like this, as well as my real estate tip series, our podcast interviews, with my 41 weeks of free coaching tips from me personally, handwritten tips that I write every week for 41 weeks that you can gain free access to, other free training, tons of free resources to help you explode your business. So make sure to check us out again at gsdmode.com. Appreciate you watching, appreciate your support, and I'll see you next time. Peace.